Hello dear viewers, students and listeners, Assalamu alaikum. I am Mazharul Haq, Assistant Professor of English, Kuala Victoria Government College. I am going to welcome you to my online and virtual lecture class, and this class has been specially made for HSC first year students, and of course it has been taken from HSC First Paper, English First Paper. So let's go to the next slide. There are some very practical and authentic images collected from different sources. So dear students, I want you to have a look at the images and guess what I'm going to teach you today. And you know this man very well. Yes, he is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his very famous speech, I Have a Dream, which is actually my topic today. There you will get a lot of valuable information. So I think after checking these images, you have got valuable prior ideas what I am going to be taught. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, dear students, one more image, which is in which he is waving his and bold hands to the colossal crowds in front of him. And this is the chapter, Unit 3, Lesson 3. And the name of the chapter is Dreams. And I Have a Dream. This is the name of the title of this chapter, which is taken from HSC First Paper English book. So dear students, let's get started with our real activities. Okay, this is the beginning. That is, why has this speech been delivered or given? You need to know that. Or this is the introduction of the speech, behind which there are a lot of important reasons lurking. So let's read the ideas together. The I Have a Dream speech delivered by Martin Luther King Jr. before a crowd of some 250,000 people at the 1963 March on Washington remains one of the most famous speeches in history. Weaving in references to the country's founding fathers and the Bible, King used universal themes to depict the struggles of African Americans before closing with an improvised riff on his dreams of equality. The eloquent speech was immediately recognized as a highlight of the successful protest and has endured as one of the signature moments of the civil rights movement. So here you can get the background of this speech. Why has this speech been given? So let's go to the next slide. Okay, dear students, now I would request you, or I want you to have a look at the speech, to listen to the video form of the speech. There you will get his real posture and gesture and how has this speech been given. Okay, so let's watch the speech.
I have the pleasure to present.
To join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstrations for freedom in the history of our nation. Five score years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity. But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. This nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today that one day down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today that one day every valley shall be exalted, and every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is the faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning, "My country, tears of thee. Sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. And so let freedom ring. From the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom reign. From the mighty mountains of New York, let freedom reign. From the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania, let freedom reign. From the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado, let freedom reign. From the curvaceous slopes of California. Not only that, let freedom reign from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom reign from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom reign from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring. And when this happens, when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Okay, dear students, I think you have watched the whole video of his very famous and historic speech, which was given by Martin Luther King Jr., and that is our chapter today. So after watching this video, I am strongly convinced that you have got very valuable information, the idea behind his motives of his speech, and also his, his purpose of such a speech is very much well expressed in this in his speech. Okay, now let's have a look at the keywords which are used by Martin Luther King. Let's go them one by one. Cripple means actually hinder or weaken, which is used in his speech. Cripple, the synonym is hinder or weaken, or something which is not going to take place, something stops someone or something to do something is called cripple. Manacle, manacle means handcuffs or shackle or chains. Segregation means separation or exclusion. Discrimination means disparity or difference. Exile means banishment. Swelter means suffer from great heat. Oppression means maltreatment, persecution, or abuse. Oasis is a fertile spot in a sandy desert. Vicious means brutal or ferocious. Racist means politicians supporting racism or abusing the dark skin. Dear students, I want to remind you one thing, that these keywords are very important because this will give you a lot of ideas to solve your MCQ questions and other important exercises from this chapter. So when you go through these words, new words or keywords, you will have to read them very carefully. You will have to try to understand the persuasive speech also and their real meaning, and also the synonyms very well. That could be very much helpful for you to solve the exercises. Let's go to the next slide for more of the keywords. Okay, exalted means filled with great feeling of joy. Crooked means twisted, that is not straight or coiled. Jangling means rattling, that is not musical, non-musical metallic objects striking together. Molehill as a small hill. Hamlet, a small village without a church or community. Gentile, someone who is not Jewish. Abridged means abbreviated, condensed or very brief. Creed means religious faith. Discord means disunity or inconsistency. Prodigious means so great in size or force. Colossal, something gigantic. Okay, these are the keywords that has been used. There are still more keywords, but I have tried to collect those which are a little bit unfamiliar for you. So please take a very close look upon the keywords. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, main idea. This is very important to get the main idea from the passage because it's a long speech. You have to know what is actually the real motive or real issue behind this speech. So let's read the main speech. The passage stresses the importance of the historical lecture of Martin Luther King Jr. on 28 August 1963 in Washington, D.C. D.C. means district, Washington in the District of Columbia, USA. In his speech, Martin Luther talked in favor of the Negroes. He reiterated issues like manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. He also emphasized equity and justice, irrespective of races, gender, religion, and as such. He talked about his dreams in his speech. Martin Luther dreamed of a society where all men would be equal in terms of caste and creed, color, and different kinds of Christian religious sects. But Luther King's dreams have not been fulfilled completely. People are not getting their real equal rights and opportunities. There is still discrimination in the society. Actually, this is the main, purpose of his speech. There are a lot of important aspects, but these are the most important aspects that I have tried to give you in this slide. Okay, off we go to the next slide. Okay, dear students, what are the main features? There are a lot of main features in the speech. I want you to have a look at some of the main features that I have collected for you. Number one, the speech is meant for all men on earth, especially for all Americans. Martin Luther believed that all men are equal. either white or black. King, that is Martin Luther King, had a dream that one day little black boys and girls will be able to join hands with white boys and girls. Luther King maintained that the fulfillment of his dreams was a precondition for America to be a great country. There are a lot of figures of speeches in this speech. So use of figures of speech to captivate the listeners, to make his speech more and more ornamental. For example, in the speech, phrase like "I have a dream" has been used again and again as anaphora. He has used his number of times at every chunk of his speech. It means it's a kind of figure that is called anaphora that is used again and again to draw the attention of the readers and listeners. Okay, dear students, and now we move to the next slide. There are some comprehension questions. Of course, you have comprehension questions, 10 marks for this. I have chosen few comprehension questions from which you will get numerous ideas to do other activities as well. So let's go to the first one. What is the text about? The text is about a famous speech delivered by Martin Luther in 1963. In his speech, he expressed about some of his dreams for the betterment of the people of the black oppressed people of the America and elsewhere. That is, mostly he has talked about African American black people, but he has also given more emphasis for the whole black and minority class sections of the people of the whole world. Number two, why did Martin Luther have these dreams? Martin Luther King had these dreams because he believed that all men would have equal rights to enjoy the equal opportunities. He wanted to see that people should be living in the same national boundary without discrimination. Okay, and dear students, now we move on to the other few questions. Okay, question number 3. What, according to Martin Luther, will be the ultimate benefit if his dreams come true? According to Martin Luther's perception, in fulfilling his dreams come true, people of the nation will be able to enjoy equal opportunities. They will live like brothers and sisters. People will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. There will be a peace in human life. So these are the ultimate goals for which he has fought valiantly, and he was actually trying with all his means to establish the equal and equilibrium between black and white. The last question of this type. Do you think Martin Luther's dreams have been fulfilled? Why or why not? No, I think that Martin Luther King's dreams have not yet been fulfilled completely. People are not getting their equal rights and opportunities. There is still discrimination in the society, and it's very true. Still in America, his dreams, that is the motto, the principle, that is the purpose and aspects for which he was fighting all throughout his life, have not yet been cherished or fulfilled. So it's a tragedy for the American people or for the whole world humanitarian people. So these are the questions, and I hope it will be helping you to prepare for other activities. And with this, I'm going to conclude my session. And hope it helps, and all the very best from me. If you have any kind of queries or any kind of difficulties in understanding any of this from this chapter, don't hesitate to email me, which I have already given in my previous slides. And with this, I'm going to conclude and finish off. Thank you very much. See you again another day. Thank you very much.